Well, hey guys, this lesson is one of my favorites because it's about a little bit about history, a little bit of science. It's pretty neat, especially because, I like pirates a lot. So peg legs have always kind of intrigued me. I've actually seen a man in real life who's a reenactor who lost his leg. He has a regular prosthetic leg, a modern one. But during his reenacting, he actually has a real peg leg, like you see on page 273. It's pretty cool to see him in real life for once. After hearing about all those stories, you think of a pirate that has a hook for a hand and has a peg leg. But these couple pages here, these next 4 pages, are all about the history of prosthetic legs. So that's why I changed the big idea. So, designing over time. Like all engineered devices, a prosthesis meets a human need. Engineers have been designing and improving prostheses for thousands of years. So think about this. Way back in the days of, the Romans and things, they had prosthetic legs. That's kind of crazy. People have lost legs in wars for ages, and we've had different setups throughout all the years. Recently, it says, I guess we should probably read the caption since that's what I've been doing first. This first Roman leg prosthesis from 300 BCE was made of bronze. It was discovered in the city of Capua, Italy, shown on the map below. So, over 2,000 years ago, they found this. They found this leg, but it's from 2,000 years ago. It's made out of bronze. So, can you imagine strapping that heavy bronze, big metal leg to your leg, and how they would have had to strap it on for it to hold on with being that heavy? It's kind of crazy. The next one there with all the little, little things on the side with the little screws and stuff. It says the pare leg prosthesis had a new kind of harness that made attachment to the body easier. So there you go. They went from having the bronze leg, which just very simple looking leg, to having it hook on better because apparently that was a problem that they felt like they needed to solve. Then finally you have the Angolesi leg, which is a big improvement over the peg leg worn by Gouverneur Morris, one of the authors of our Constitution. So it kind of crossed over to history class, social studies class. One of the authors of the Constitution actually had a peg leg. So that's pretty neat. All right, so let's read together here. Recently, archaeologists found what may be the world's oldest prosthesis. It was an artificial toe. Just one toe. They found it buckled onto the foot of a 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy. Scientists could tell the wearer had a toe removed. The prosthesis took its place. Ancient engineers also designed artificial legs. The oldest known leg prosthesis was shaped like a peg. It could only be worn below the knee. It gave support, but not much else. Wooden toes and bronze legs needed improvement. In the mid-1500s, so almost 600 years ago, 500 years ago, the French surgeon Ambroise Paré designed a new kind of leg prosthesis. It had a knee that worked just like a natural knee. It let the wearer move better than older designs had. So that was the big improvement. Not only did the caption there on your page say that it connected to the leg better, the upper thigh, but it also had a knee that actually bent like a hinge joint. So that's a huge improvement. And can you imagine walking with one leg just all the time like this, straight? Now you could actually bend it. In the 1800s, an English bioengineer, James Potts, further improved the leg prosthesis design. His design was called the Angolesi leg. It was made mostly of wood, but it had a steel knee joint. It also had artificial tendons. So as we learned, right? So the tendons were inside of this wooden leg that you see on the picture there. And it snapped the foot back and forth. So when you walked, your foot would move, the artificial foot would move in a more natural way. Same with the knee joint. The tendons are cord-like tissues that hold muscle to the bone. Potts's prosthetic tendons allowed the wearer to bend his or her knee and it to move a prosthetic foot. James Edward Hanger was a soldier in the United States Civil War. He lost a leg to a battle injury. He spent months in his room. When he finally came down, he wore a wooden leg that he designed. It could bend at the knee. The leg was named the Hanger limb in his honor. James Hanger became a very rich man. He started a company that made prosthetic limbs. The company still has offices all over the world. Bioengineers there and at other companies continue to design and test new and better prostheses. So here's what I want you to do. I'll come in closer. So I got this little task for you. I want you to figure out, I want you to find something on the internet for me and then come report to me. Don't tell anybody else that you're doing this. Make them find the information for themselves. But that guy, James Hanger, go ahead and research him a little bit. Find out if you can find his company website and find out who is most famous. He's dead, but the company, who was the most famous customer, I guess you could call them, that they've made a prosthesis for, and then come and tell me who it is. All right? Good luck with your challenge. All right, on to page 274 and 275 then. New and improved. Prostheses have come a long way since the 1800s. Today, bioengineers use a lot of math and science when they design new prostheses. I think this is really cool, this part, because they show the series of prosthetic legs and how they've changed over the last, 100 years. And they've really made some major advances in the last 100 years. You can see belts on them and how they attach. You can tell that they have a few here that look really like real legs. But then you've got ones that are made not, because people don't care nowadays if they really look like a real leg or not. They want it to perform the tasks that they used to do. Like the guy on the picture there that's mountain climbing. He has a leg that allows him to do that. So it's pretty cool. Bioengineers can use computers to help them in design and testing. They can design their prosthetic with a software program. Then they can use the computer to test how well the device will work in different situations. These computerized experiments make it easier to spot design errors. They show bioengineers where their designs need improvement. Even before the bioengineer begins building the prosthesis, it can be improved. Today, bioengineers have more to work with than wood and metal. They can use human-made plastics that are lighter and stronger. These new materials last longer than wood, too. Today's bioengineers can make artificial legs that move like real legs. Lighter materials also allow wearers to take part in many sports. In fact, some prosthetic legs are designed for use in specific sports. So you guys probably saw the Olympics last year, right? And the guy who was running in the Olympics that had the two legs that were prosthetic legs, and they looked nothing like real legs. They were round, kind of roundish metal that allowed him to run and bounce pretty much more naturally like a real runner. Most of the prosthetic legs that they make don't have that kind of action, like they won't work properly to run in. So they design different legs for different jobs. Now, cables and levers control movement in some leg prostheses. Some have external motors to power them. The wearer can switch the motor on and off. And again, this isn't to make them bionic, to make them go jump higher, run faster. It's simply to make the leg do what your brain normally would tell your leg to do. The newest leg prostheses work the same way a human leg does. The human nervous system sends electrical signals from muscles and the brain telling a leg how to work. These signals let muscles work together. The latest leg models work the same way. They respond to electrical signals sent from the wearer's leg muscles. For example, some leg prostheses include an artificial foot. The foot has electronic sensors within it. These help the wearers balance by enabling them to put the right amount of pressure on their toes, heels, and arches. So that way, their artificial leg doesn't mess up their real leg that they might still have. So they work together even better. So this history of prosthetics, guys, is important because engineers use these ideas and then they improve on them over time. they let people wear them, and as people say, you know, I'd like a prosthetic that does this instead, then an engineer says, okay, let's design it, let's do it. So learning from your mistakes, designing process as time goes on is how the engineering process actually works.